No, is it recording?
Yeah, it's recording.
Okay. Hey, welcome to Drunk at the Movies with Eric and Bobby. I'm Eric. This is Bobby, and we're.
No, dude, we changed it. It's drinks in a movie.
It's not. It's drinks at the movie, not drunk at. It's not drunk at the movies.
Yeah, we changed it to drinks at.
So
drinks in a movie.
If I'm not getting drunk, then why am I here, man? Fucking.
Dude.
Welcome to Drinks and a Movie with Eric and Bobby. I'm Eric.
I'm Bobby.
And today we'll be seeing Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
We're also drinking.
Yep, we're drinking. We prepared 2 special drinks for this movie. We got the Harley Quinn and the Joker.
Which I'll pour later. It's in a shaker thing.
Yeah, we have it mixed right now, but...
Our designated driver and special guest this week is my neighbor Teal, who is an artist of some kind. Okay.
Yeah.
And works at a children's museum. She'll be driving us, our drunk asses, to the movie. Anyway, Bobby. Okay, so what are the things we plan on talking about? So it's Suicide Squad. It premieres tonight.
Yep, it premieres tonight, starring Margot Robbie, Will Smith, Jared Leto, among a lot of people. There's a lot of people in this movie.
Cara Delevingne, Jay Hernandez, Adwale, I'm never going to be able to pronounce his last name. The guy who plays Killer Croc.
Yeah.
Awesome. And Viola Davis is Amanda Waller.
Yep.
And then a bunch of other...
That's
Jai Courtney is Captain Boomerang.
That's not even mentioning the person playing Rick Flag and Katana.
I don't know. Karen Fukunaga is...
Too many people.
There's a lot of people in this movie.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, first impressions of it, that's one of the problems of this movie, is there's too many backstories that they gotta get out of the way. And of course it's a DC movie, so it's following in the illustrious shadow of Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel.
Yeah.
I was not a big fan of Man of Steel, but it wasn't a terrible movie.
Right.
Batman vs. Superman I wasn't a big fan of, and it was a bad movie.
Yeah.
A lot of people are saying that this movie kind of has the same sort of flaws as Batman vs. Superman, and that it's trying to do a little too much.
Which is fair.
In being told in such a way that it's not coherent.
Because here's the problem. Like, we're working with a huge cast that has to be introduced all at once.
Massive cast. And we can't even name all the cast members. This is how big it is.
Yeah, and it doesn't have the benefit that like the X-Men have, where it's just like all their backstories are easily explained. They're born this way.
Yeah. And they're going to school. Those are the two things.
That's the backstory. So like they don't have that benefit.
Or it's not enough characters to really necessitate a origin movie for each one.
Yeah.
Like you could arguably make a Joker and Harley Quinn movie, but who wants to go to a Deadshot movie?
Right.
Who wants to go to a
Captain Boomerang?
Yeah, or a Killer Croc movie. You know, as much as I would love to see, I would be the only one seeing a Killer Croc movie because I have been waiting for 10 years to see a Killer Croc movie.
Hollywood.
Where are you at?
But yeah, so that's a big problem. I hear that, so one of my big reservations about this movie, and I hear that this is, my fears haven't been put to rest about this, is that Will Smith is playing Deadshot, and he is, hands down, from what I've read, the #1 main character of this movie. And it makes sense, he's the leader of the Suicide Squad. I've read the Suicide Squad comics a lot. I'm a big fan of it. Deadshot, he's a character that you need. He is the leader, and he does have a great backstory in that he's doing it for his daughter. The problem is Deadshot's not a nice person.
Right.
He's a terrible human being. And the best way, in terms that I put into, is the Justice League animated series. Okay. The Task Force X episode that they did.
Yeah, great episode.
Where Deadshot, he has this love interest through the whole story, and at the end, they're tasked to break into the Watchtower and steal secrets from the Justice League, and at the end, the only way that he can escape is by shooting his love interest in the back and leaving her to get caught by the Justice League. And that's Deadshot in a nutshell.
Right.
He's doing it to save his daughter or whatever, but he's a cold-blooded mercenary and he's going to shoot you in the back the first time that you become an inconvenience for him. Will Smith has never been able to play a non-likable character in his life. He is so goddamn charming.
And to be fair, like, he's given bad performances. That's not what we're saying.
No.
He's always played a person that we should like.
Like Wild Wild West was not a great movie, but gosh darn it, his smile just won me over.
Or that,
you know,
or that one he did with his
can't
kid.
be that. Oh yeah, the After Earth.
After
right?
Earth, yeah.
Deadshot can't be that. He has to be a scoundrel. You know, he can be a swashbuckling kind of charming scoundrel, but he's a bastard at the end of the day. And that's my biggest fear about this movie. Margot Robbie, Australian actress.
Right.
Super hot, right? We're
Yes.
all attracted to women here.
Yeah.
So, like, is
And I mean,
super into Margot Robbie. And the accent, but she doesn't do the accent in the movie.
Well, yeah, she does.
I want her to say "good day, mate" once, and I'll just be like,
she's probably gonna say it in an exchange with Captain Boomerang.
that'd be awesome.
Harley Quinn
have
would say
to.
good day, mate.
Yeah, right? Oh, that does sound like something Harley Quinn would do.
Yes.
Margot Robbie, like, super hot. Like, from what I've seen from the trailers, she really looks like she's a
She's
good
going
Harley
into
Quinn.
the role. She's getting into the role for sure.
The costume is what's got people upset about it, though.
Yeah.
You know,
a lot of
because
people have argued
It's
that.
fine.
it's just her wearing a t-shirt
That
and
is over-sexual.
booty shorts. No, well, Harley Quinn's a sexual character. I mean, even
You can argue the original
even
wasn't
when she
that
was
sexy.
even when she was covered up from head to toe, it was still skin tight, man.
That's true.
Like,
True. But the most
As
sexy that show got was the "Happy Birthday to You." You know, where she's coming out of the pudding.
No, the most sexual was, "Don't you want to rev up your Holly?"
I don't know. Those are both
Yeah.
very sexy moments in that.
What a
cartoon.
great show Batman the Animated Series was. And we should all take a moment to reflect on how awesome our childhoods were
Yes.
But no,
because of it.
but yeah, she's always been a very sexual character. It's very much ingrained in who she is.
And I mean, you wouldn't be wrong to say after Arkham City and Arkham Knight, it kind of took off.
Oh, for
Because that's
sure.
when she, I mean, when she
Because
really
that's when she got the big
started becoming-
redesign.
Do I think she's being over-sexualized? Yes, but I don't think it's out of character for her.
No.
You know what I mean?
A lot of people are arguing that it's not that bad because the costume designer was a woman named Kate Howley, and
See, I love that like studios do this though. They hire a woman
Yeah,
to do it,
women
which
can
doesn't
still-
necessarily mean that
If she's being
Yeah.
paid by a man to make a costume sexy, it can still be sexist. But
Exactly.
we're not here to debate all
No.
these issues.
I'm just
We're here to
going
talk
by-
about nerd things.
Yeah.
I
in
saw a
this
list
movie.
earlier today of somebody saying, "Go support Suicide Squad because it has all these great things about it, and you need to support it," as if it's something.
Well,
you
and we were
filmed.
talking about
It
this
was great.
before the camera rolled too.
Yeah.
Just because your
Continuing
movie is
that.
predominantly led by women doesn't mean it is a feminist movie.
Hollywood's controlled by men, guys. Just
Hollywood's it's the
Remember
1% of
that.
the 1% of Hollywood. It's the
Yeah.
problem. If anyone can make money off of anything, there's gonna be someone
But
exploiting.
that is something we should talk about a little. Like Suicide Squad has the most diverse cast of any of these superhero movies.
You know,
Flat
I didn't really think about it, but you're absolutely right. It's got
Well, it's got
four-
women. It's got
4 women main characters.
yep,
The main
Asian, black.
Yeah, 2 black main
Hispanic.
3 black main characters if you count Killer Croc. 2 Hispanic, Slipknot and Jay Hernandez as Diablo.
Yep.
And then a bunch of white guys. But God, I mean, and then a Japanese woman, and then Viola Davis playing Viola Davis
yeah.
playing
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller. We've been over this too. She's not the original interpretation of Amanda Waller.
No,
who was
no.
just like a huge like
Just this
bodybuilder, like one of
Amanda the Wall Waller.
the Waller, which we would have loved to see. But Viola Davis is not a young actress.
No,
And most
Was she-
modern interpretations of Amanda Waller have been look like Halle Berry. So
Yeah,
they
they
could
made
have
her very
definitely
hot.
cast as a very attractive, but they didn't. They chose a distinguished, powerful. I've seen her performance. It's powerful.
Yeah.
You know, and because even though it's a movie about villains fighting each other and just doing
Yeah.
whatever they want in the Suicide Squad, the main character is Amanda Waller and her task force.
Right.
And I would hope that they would they would realize that in some way. Because Amanda Waller is the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
She
makes them.
and also
She's the
an
Professor
adversary
X
of an adversary of the Justice League.
Yeah.
So I do hope she kind of I mentioned this yesterday when we were talking yesterday. I kind of hope that what Marvel does with Nick Fury, DC will do with Amanda Waller, and that she'll be in each movie, kind of being the government kind of criticism of the Justice League and superheroes. That would be amazing to me if they have the foresight to do that.
No. Overall, this movie's got great talent behind it. It's
really good talent behind it, and not bad directors and producers either.
Yeah.
But just with DC's track record so far.
Yeah, like
that's
Batman v Superman has great talent behind it too, and neither of us really like it.
I don't think many people.
Yeah, it's. I would say it's one of the most divisive movies just in most recent years, period.
Yeah.
Batman v Superman.
And
that and Ghostbusters.
This may be our first video doing this, but getting drunk before movies is not an uncommon practice for me and Bobby.
No.
And
we do it very often.
You've come with a few times with us before too, right? We saw Mike and Dave Need Weddings Dates drunk.
Yeah. The ones before this is the second time.
So this is your second time being drunk with us. But we said it before, when we were drunk, we kind of liked Batman vs Superman.
Yeah. And then I saw it sober.
When we watched it sober, it was like, well, this isn't so great.
No.
And people, with all the criticism of Suicide Squad, I've been saying to myself over and over again, it can't be Batman vs Superman.
No.
They have to have learned something of a lesson after Batman vs Superman, right?
Well,
right?
Okay.
Right?
Maybe those reviews make it sound like they haven't.
And we should talk about the reshoots that happened.
That's a good
Yeah,
good point to bring up, yeah.
After Deadpool came out and proved to be wildly successful, they Warner Brothers got the team back together and decided to do reshoots on Suicide Squad.
Yep.
Now,
which made it one of the most difficult movies for them to film, too. There are horror stories coming from the set of Suicide Squad for all the reshoots they had to do.
And Jared Leto being just crazy as hell.
Oh my gosh, yeah, there's so much.
There.
Watch, if you can, I don't know if we'll find the link and add it in the description. If we do, we can.
Yeah.
But there's so many interviews that you can do. Conan O'Brien's interviews with them are just hilarious.
Yeah.
But there's so many interviews that they've been doing during the production of this movie about just how batshit insane everything has been.
Yeah.
One of the producers.
He mailed a rat to, like, everyone. Right?
Yeah, and Viola Davis threatened him, almost kicked his ass because
of a dead rat to everyone.
And, one of the producers said, Cara Delevingne, to get into character as the Enchantress, and I've seen a couple of clips of her as the Enchantress, and it looks amazing. Well, something I'm looking forward to is her performance as the Enchantress. But to get into character, she says, if you ever find yourself lost in a forest, just get naked and run around in the forest. That's how you're gonna get into character as this. And I guess she did at one point. Okay. It's like, so the production has been just this crazy, unrealistic shit show, and that's hilarious. I kind of want them to do a Heart of Darkness, like Apocalypse Now. Right. Like everyone loves Apocalypse Now, but if you watch the making of Apocalypse Now, it's like an Oscar-winning movie. It's so much better than the actual movie.
Yes.
I would love for them to make a documentary on making of Suicide Squad.
Well, if this movie's good and I get it on Blu-ray, I'll definitely watch all the special features.
Sure.
Definitely.
If that's a big if, though.
I would love for a documentary on the making of Suicide Squad to win awards. Have the actual movie just have these
Jared Leto walks the red
movie
carpet
itself
as the
fails
Joker.
terribly.
Yeah, Jared Leto and Margot Robbie are wearing what appears to be Insane Clown Posse shirts.
They're juggalos now. I mean,
all right.
Awesome. Let's talk about the costumes, though, Mom. We already talked about Harley Quinn a little bit. Some of the biggest backlash I've ever heard was for the Joker, a tattooed Joker, when they released that image of Jared Leto. Yeah. And it's something that I've, as a metalhead, sorry, you guys. This is me coming out of the closet as a metalhead right now. To the world. I always kind of assumed the Joker was into body modding, and stuff like that. And it had never been brought up in the. Yeah, I always thought maybe he had just body modded. This is an interpretation that had never been done in the comics before.
Yeah.
So I wasn't that shocked when they did it.
Well, because in the comics they just tend to do this. He's dressed from head to toe.
They do whatever they want with the Joker. Yeah. I mean, he's had 7 different origin stories.
Yeah,
it's pretty much fair game for anyone. So I was kind of of course they're going to do this. Yeah. Yeah. Right. And not once has somebody been cast as the Joker when hasn't had a fair amount of controversy.
Yeah, and you know what? That's exactly the thing. With each interpretation of Joker, they are not. None of them have been the same.
Oh no, yeah.
Yeah.
Jack Nicholson was just an insane, an unhinged gangster.
Yeah.
Heath Ledger was just the theory is that he's a war veteran, but he's just a completely insane mastermind.
And, even Cesar Romero and the Adam West one
was so underrated too.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Say whatever you want about the Adam West Batman, but Cesar Romero, they had some spectacular performances from the villains.
Yeah.
And if I may say, Suicide Squad 2, let's get Egghead on the Suicide Squad.
Throw in Calendar Man. And Killer Moth.
Yeah, right. Let's really scrape the barrel. You still want a Swamp Thing movie.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
If this movie does well, by the way, because it's a dark tone, it's clearly this movie is due in no small part to Deadpool. I think.
Yeah. They wanted to try and make this the counter to Deadpool.
The success of Deadpool is opening all kinds of windows for new comic book movies that wouldn't be thinking. Because even before Suicide Squad, months ago, they announced that they're thinking of Lobo. They're thinking of a Lobo movie now.
Yeah.
Which would have been absurd 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Lobo, for those who aren't familiar, is a space biker. Can we get like a screenshot of Lobo up in this part? Like, can we edit that?
I'm gonna find the most
Yes.
the most degrading image of Lobo I can find.
Awesome.
Continuing on this Lobo.
Wow.
We'll edit that and cut that out. But yeah, so Lobo. Now they're thinking of doing a Lobo movie. Lobo is in essence a parody, but I think Suicide Squad's kind of the answer to that. And if more dark, humorous movie tones like this, the movie that I think they would be criminal to overlook would be Justice League Dark.
Yeah.
Because
Well, they're making that animated movie, which looks okay.
It does. It looks so good.
More animated
they
movies.
got what's his name? I don't know. The guy that played
him in the show.
Is the voice.
I can never remember his name either.
It's Matt something. Matt. It's man.
I want to say it's like Ryan.
Matt,
I don't know.
Matt Ryan is.
No, like his first name's Ryan.
Ryan.
That's somebody else.
Names here.
Yeah.
We'll, if you know who played Constantine, comment below. Just
He was great. From what I saw.
so good. I
It's
loved
just
the show. Honestly,
that-
I watched every
That show
episode.
just had a lot of problems. It was on the wrong station.
It was on the
and-
wrong station.
This is the second drink we made for this. It's
This
called
is
the Joker.
Description in the link.
And a how-to in a little bit.
Link in the description. I'm already feeling it. I had a couple before we started filming.
Me too. Anyways, we got off topic. Let's get back to costumes. Deadshot's costume looks straight out of the comic when he's completely masked.
It's a realistic interpretation of his costume in the comic. Would I have liked it if
looking.
would I have liked it if it was a little more accurate? Sure, but I don't know how they could have done that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you said when he's completely masked. How much is he gonna be completely masked? He's
That's
Will
a good
Smith.
point. That's a good point.
They're paying for his face. They're gonna show his face.
It's like if you actually watch an
I don't
Iron Man
think
movie.
yeah.
He's constantly got his helmet open.
Yeah, and when has Thor has worn his helmet once.
Yeah, in the first movie.
Yeah,
and that was about
one scene in the first movie. And I can't even think of that many times in the trailers that I've seen Will Smith with his mask on.
Yeah.
So it's like whatever. They could have dressed him in anything.
Yeah.
I would like him to wear his helmet more, his mask more. Killer Croc, I would be happy with any Killer Croc ever.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with
Well,
this.
throughout Killer Croc's history,
Yeah.
they've changed what he is.
Well, his power is regressive atavism, which means it slowly regresses.
Right.
The more as he's going, he's trying to find a cure. In some interpretations, he's trying to find a cure. So he starts off just like a dude, but he's slowly getting scalier and more reptilian. I would think it was really cool if in later movies they kind of almost made it a Hulk sort of thing, where he can kind of Hulk out to become more reptilian.
Become bigger. And
yeah, like a
more-
berserker kind of thing.
Okay.
You know?
I don't know about that.
For what it is right now, Adwale, I can't pronounce his last name. Adwale, the actor, is a huge motherfucker, and
Yeah.
I
I don't know. In the trailers they show, he doesn't look to be tall in any way.
No,
just
he's beefed up,
just a
man.
beefy guy,
And,
which is fine. And
And I can tell he's Killer Croc when I look at him. You know,
Yeah.
would I like him to be more reptilian? Yeah,
sure.
But for what it is, like again, I said I'm happy
Yeah.
with Killer Croc. I would be happy
Yeah.
if it was just the burn victim version that they went.
The
with.
other characters, Enchantress.
Or the Killer Croc was a voodoo priest once too. I would be happy if they did that too.
Yeah.
But Enchantress, so good.
I love her design.
And it's not because she's only wearing nothing. It's not just that. I mean,
No.
it's partially that.
Sure.
No,
But
I feel disturbed looking at her, and that's what she should be.
Enchantress, because I've read, no one's read Justice League Dark, right?
No.
Like, I've read Justice League Dark. She's the antagonist of the first arc. She makes it rain teeth. That's really disturbing. But she's always been kind of like, oh, she's a little witch wearing green. Like, it's a silly costume. She looks like she's from The Grudge or The Ring or something.
Yeah.
And, like, that's what she should look like when you like look at her story arcs, and she does all this disturbing stuff. Like I honestly love what they did with Enchantress.
Yeah.
And that's I think what a movie interpretation should do with a costume is make it something that nobody's thought of yet, but something's like, why didn't we think of that?
Right.
That works so well on film. And getting back to Harley Quinn, it's the first movie. I think they'll make maybe more true costumes to her character if they bring it back.
And apparently they did even design like the classic full bodysuit, and it just didn't look right, which is fair.
Well, and you gotta keep in mind this.
As good as any cosplayer has ever been, it still looks funny. It works in a cartoon, but it doesn't.
And
look
if I may
well
say,
in practice.
Harley Quinn porn stars, because there's been many porn parodies of her too.
Wow, amazing.
Her original design, like it works. It's one of those things. Works well in comics, not so much in practice.
Yeah.
Which comic book movies have always done that. They've always changed the outfits a little because
they could do well. Look at
weird.
Arkham City. You know, they could 100% have done an Arkham City costume, but I think they're saving that for later movies because this is the outfit she was wearing when she was arrested and drafted into the Suicide Squad. So that when you look at it that way, if they do that, because if they don't say what I just said, then fuck them. But then it makes sense, right? That was her street clothes. She wasn't wearing her costume when they arrested her or something. There's something like that, you know?
Sure.
Like, that's what Harley Quinn would wear if she wasn't in her costume.
Sure.
That's how I choose to look at it, but again, I haven't seen the movie yet.
Let's
It
move
could
on
be
to
way worse.
some of the other
Yeah,
characters.
it's a
Katana.
movie.
Katana looks straight up
Straight
out
to
of
the comics. Straight to the comics. So good.
Which is good.
And the actress they got to play her, I think her name is Karen Fukunaga.
I couldn't tell you if you were wrong.
We'll
right?
figure it out.
Yeah,
But
we'll
the
look it
actress
up.
they got looks like
That's a big
Katana.
problem. Like this movie
Yeah.
is definitely advertising that Margot Robbie and Joker, Jared Leto, far more than any other character, which is understandable. They're
And I've heard the Joker isn't even in it that much.
huh?
I heard the Joker isn't even in it that
Yeah,
much.
Which he shouldn't
somebody-
be. He shouldn't
Yeah.
be.
Somebody posted that
'Cause he's
he
not
only
a member
got,
of the
20
Suicide
minutes
Squad.
of screen time.
Well, like, I think this movie is setting up the next Batman movie that's doing anything, and the Joker will be in the next Batman.
Well, and apparently Jared Leto, he did agree to be in the Batman movie, as Joker. Which,
Why would you not agree to be in the Batman movie as the Joker? If you were in one movie as the Joker, I would sign so many deals. I would sign anything to keep coming back as the Joker. Because that's money. Heath Ledger's family never needs to work again.
No.
Because he was in the one movie.
Because he was in debatably the best Batman movie so far.
Oh, I don't think there's any debate, Bobby.
I'm gonna say, best so far.
Okay. I mean, the original was good. Good. And there's gonna be people, I'm sure there's gonna be people in the comments section
Yeah, this is a YouTube
fighting
video.
for the first two
We get
Batman
it.
movies, and not that they're not great. They are so good. But I
Right.
think The Dark Knight is not only the best Batman movie, the best the best comic book movie.
Nah, man, Batman.
And
Green somewhere in there.
Let's move on to the other characters. Captain Boomerang's in it. We haven't seen much of him.
But from what I have seen, okay, Captain Boomerang is a joke.
Yeah, he's a joke
He's
character
a
to begin with.
ridiculous idea of a villain.
Well, and they even changed his name for this movie. They just call him Boomerang. They don't call him Captain
Oh, so
Boomerang.
he's not a captain.
He has been stripped of his status.
He was never a captain.
He's Corporal Boomerang.
Just half of Flash's villains have the name
Boomerang.
Captain.
But having read Suicide Squad, and I know you've seen a few interpretations of
I know,
Captain Boomerang.
yeah.
Captain Boomerang is just kind of a douchebag.
Well, and his costume's terrible. His costume was always really bad.
But that's what's awesome. Like, the costume that they did for this movie totally works for
Yep.
what he is. And it's you can still tell he's Captain
A drunk
Boomerang when you look
Australian.
at him. And if you know Captain Boomerang, like, you can still, like, okay, that is totally what Captain Boomerang would wear in real life. He wouldn't wear, like, cravats and, fancy suits.
He'd buy a suit with
He'd wear a goddamn
designs.
boomerang shirts, and he'd, like, his mutton chops and,
and
his
he's got
skull
like
cap.
this stupid hat
Yeah,
with
this-
a boomerang on it.
It's so fucked up. Like, he looks so good. And Jai Courtney, I've seen him in, he played Kyle Reese in the, mediocre at best remake of Terminator.
Okay.
I know he can act. He didn't do a bad job in that
No,
movie.
he wasn't the problem with that movie.
But he's Australian, so now he finally gets to be the drunk Australian
gets to
that
be
he
an
always
Australian,
wanted
yeah.
to be. So I'm honestly excited to see Captain Boomerang in this movie. Not as excited as I am to see Killer Croc. But,
I just want to be able to walk out and be like, I didn't regret spending money on this.
Yeah, well, honestly, like I'm not even hoping that. Like if this movie is not great, I'll be fine with that. But if this movie is good enough to justify continuing the DC universe of movies, I'll be like, maybe there's hope. Maybe we can keep going.
Maybe.
Yeah. You know? That's my hope for this movie, honestly, and also at least a decent amount of screen time for Killer Croc. He's just the best, guys. He's a lizard man. We will. We're gonna head out to the movie now.
We're gonna head out to the movie.
Gonna get some McDonald's.
She's gonna drive us to the movie. She's gonna drive us to McDonald's first.
Always
Then-
have a sober cab.
Yeah.
Cab.
Kids, remember.
We've
be
been
safe.
the two drinks we've had tonight are the Harley Quinn and the Joker. We will include the instructions on how to make these drinks in the description below.
But also, here's a video for you right now.
Yeah. We'll
When
show
we
you how
come
to do
back,
it.
we will have seen the movie and
And
we'll give you our thoughts.
and if you're already hooked on our levity and wits, click on Bobby's face to like, and click on my face to subscribe, and ignore Teal's face because she's just the guest star. Here's how we did it. Here's how we made some Suicide Squad themed cocktails. You can make them too. Okay, we'll start with the Joker. What you're gonna need is food coloring, just regular old sugar. Gonna need cherry vodka. Gonna need some rum, melon liqueur, sour mix, simple syrup, and one of them shaky thingies for mixing drinks. There you go. Okay, here we go now. So just pour some sugar in a bag, pour the food coloring. We used purple food coloring in the sugar. Mix it all up so the sugar turns purple. Then pour it out onto a dish so it's spread out nice and evenly. Then pour a little bit of the simple syrup onto another dish. Then you take the glass, mix around the simple syrup, let it dry out for a little bit, and then mix it around in the sugar so you get a nice little rim there. And that just coats the glass with it. Now we'll start working on the drink. What you're going to need is take out your little measuring device and your shaky thingy. 2 ounces of cherry vodka go right into the shaky thingy. Then we got 1/2 ounce of just rum. Mix that in there, about 1/2 ounce of that. Now the recipe calls for Midori sours. We use cheap melon flavored liqueur because we are broke. Sweet and sour mix goes 3 whole ounces of sweet and sour mix. 3 ounces of sweet and sour mix. Then mix that crap in there. Shake it around with your shaky thingy. Take the glass, put some ice in there, and then pour it out into the glass. And bing bang boom, you made yourself the Joker. Ready for Suicide Squad. Okay, the next one, the Harley Quinn. It's a lot of the same. The only ingredients that changed really is we used tequila instead of melon liqueur, and then instead of sour mix, we use grenadine and pineapple juice. But other than that, all the rest of the ingredients are about the same. Exactly the same ways to rim the glass, just this time we choose black sanding sugar because Harley Quinn's costume is black and red. Now onto the actual drink part of it. First, what you're going to need, you're only going to need 1.5 ounces of cherry vodka this time. Pour it in there. Then 1 ounce of tequila. 1 ounce of the rum. Only a tablespoon of grenadine. And we didn't have a measuring cup, so we just splashed it in there. It's fine. You're going to want to add as much grenadine as you want. Then 3 ounces of pineapple juice. Put that in there. And the same as before, put the ice in the glass, because I like cold drinks, and then pour that shit in the glass. And there you go. You just made a Harley Quinn cocktail for the Suicide Squad movie. Now you can get drunk with the thematically correct drinks for